Good morning, ladies. We are going to do the workout for Saturday, July 10th. So instead of obviously having class together, I'm going to treat this more or less as much as I can like we were in class together. So we'll warm up together. I will run you through that, and then we'll go through your first piece. I'm keeping things simple today in terms of your format, so you don't have to get fancy with timers and all that. So we'll warm up, and then after we warm up, I'm going to show you all the movements that you're doing for the strength, core, stability stuff, and then we'll go through the pieces for your cardio. So I'll tell you at points during this video when you can pause to do the work, and then once you get through that, you can unpause. But right now, we're all going to warm up, so let's just start with alternating step-ups into 2 jacks. I don't think I've ever done a workout with you, so let's see if I can get through this without sounding like I'm out of breath. So we're just warming up, nice and easy, alternating that leading foot on those step-ups. We'll take it up a notch a little bit in the second round. Let's do one more. All right, and then like always, we want to warm up our ankles, so we're gonna go ahead and get onto the board safely. And let's just start with going forward and back, side to side. You can move in circles, reversing direction, but we're gonna spend a good minute or so. So just focusing on those ankles. Since you're doing this on your own, if you notice anything feels really tight, you can of course pause and spend more time on that. And then go ahead, come off the board. And then let's just start with doing a calf stretch. So you're gonna put your hands on the board, pike your butt up, press your hands away, almost like you're pressing away from that board and into your heels. And you're gonna pedal 20 times, nice and controlled, so don't rush through these. It's a stretch. You should feel this in your calves. I'm not counting, but I think I'm on 8. And then bring one knee down to the ground, your other foot out to the side, and you're going to drive that knee out, leaning into it, opening up your hips. We're gonna hold for about 10 seconds. And then go ahead and switch sides. Switch again. That was probably longer than 10 seconds, but that's okay. Switch. One more time on each side. I think this is 3. And then last time on the other leg. And then come out of that, we're gonna do some toe taps, or Violet, you can do your usual jog around. Move around the board if you want to. Make sure there's nothing around you that you're gonna trip on or step on. relax. Let me see what we're doing. Okay, we're gonna step onto the board again, and we're gonna actually do 8 good mornings. You're gonna bring your hands behind your head, your elbows out, hinge your butt back, keep your back flat, legs as straight as you can. Just bring your torso parallel so you're not getting any lower, and then you'll stand back up. Two more. All right, and then we are going to do 5 squats on the board. So bring your butt back, chest up, knees out. You hear my knee cracking? That's cute. And then come on off the board. We're gonna get into a plank. And I'm just gonna call out some things to change up that plank position, but just starting in a nice, easy plank. Pushing away from the board, keep your elbows, wrists, and shoulders in a nice stacked position. And we're going to do some knee drops, so lowering your knees, straightening your legs. You probably can't see me, but just making sure that your hips, you're not leaning or shifting forward. And then back into a plank. And bring one foot out like an Everest to keep your torso, everything nice and straight so you're not moving with it. And then you can come out of that. All right, so that was your warm up. Hopefully you feel like you're ready to start the first piece. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 movements. You can, if you want to, either set yourself a timer for about 15 minutes or just track your rounds so that you're doing this 4 times through. So let's start with the first movement. We're doing long lever bridges today. So you're going to be on your back flat or your legs straight. Your heels are on the board. Let's make sure I don't get cut out of the video. For this one, try to keep your hands off the ground just because there's a tendency to use it to kind of push yourselves up. So I like to put my hands on my stomach. And we're gonna do 10 long lever bridges. So keeping my legs straight, I'm coming up and then lowering back down. Up for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. I didn't anticipate getting so warm during this. Hang on, I gotta open up my door. Woo, it's hot. Okay, so that's your first movement. You're gonna do 10 long lever bridges. Carrie, it's the same for you. We're gonna deviate in a second. So Violet and Myra, you're going to do a bear crawl position into a leg extension. So let me see. Hopefully you can see me on here. So you're going to have your hands on the ground, your feet on the board. So it's almost the opposite when you did the knee drops for the warm-up. You're going to kind of be in that position, but your hands will be on the ground, your feet on the board. And you're going to, from here, you're going to bring one leg out and then return that back like this. And you're going to pick a range that's appropriate, somewhere between 10 and 20. I'm just going to do 10 because I'm starting to sweat and I showered. I did not expect this. And then you can come out of that. Carrie, you're going to do your stability ball dead bug hold. So you know how to do this one, but you're going to be on your back with the ball in between, and then you're going to push your hands into the ball, creating that tension in your core, and you'll hold for 45 seconds. Okay, so that's the second movement. The third movement we're doing, Carrie, you'll do Superman to row. Violet and Myra, you're going to do a single arm row with one hand on the board, one hand holding the dumbbell. So I'm going to put my hand in the middle of the board, and you're doing 8 reps on each side. So one hand here, my feet should be wide enough because when I row, I want to make sure I'm not twisting or piping up. So staying in this position, I'm going to row for 8. And then after I do 8, I will switch. If, oh, did I go out of frame? If these feel easy and you get to 8 and you feel like you didn't do anything, then you're going to slow your pace down, which I'll show you on this side, so you can make it a 3-second count if this doesn't feel that challenging. But same position, everything's the same, except you're going to do 1, 2, 3, and lower, 1, 2, 3. Last one, and down. So a couple things on this. When you're rowing, you want to make sure that your arm is staying at your side. So when you get to this position, your elbow should be kind of in a line versus you're not rowing and your shoulder's not turning in. So think about keeping your shoulder still as opposed to rowing and having it rotate. Make sense? So that's your third movement. Carrie, you're going to do 8 Superman to row. And then, let me move this. We're going to do lateral step-ups with weight. So you're going to hold your dumbbells at your hips, and we're going to alternate for 10. So coming up on the middle, so my feet start around the board, 1 foot up, and then I step back down, alternate that leading leg. That's 2. We're going to go for 10. And that's 6, so 4 more. Last one, this might have been 11. I was just thinking of something I wanted to make sure I mentioned. So Carrie, you can do this body weight. I would say you can put your vest on, but you don't need it for the other stuff. So if you want to put it on for just for that one, or if you want to make yours a little bit more challenging, instead of stepping, you're going to come up, bring that foot out and down without your dumbbells, and do kind of a side leg lift. So that's your 4th movement, or 3rd movement. 1, 2, 3, that was 4. Your 5th and final will be a triple crush, standing on the board in a quarter squat. But before we do that, just so you can see me a little bit better. If you remember, the triple crush is a curl to a press into a tricep, overhead tricep extension, and then back. You can do it in a quarter squat, same thing. But we're going to do this, of course, on the board. So I'm going to get onto the board, and then trying to stay in that quarter squat, I'm going to curl, press, tricep, and then back. And that's 1. I'm going to try to stay in this quarter squat for all 8 reps. Good. 2. I just said good to myself. Habit, I guess. Okay, we're at 4. 5. 6. 7. Final rep. And down. Carrie, you're of course not doing that. Unless your elbow feels fine and you want to go with lightweight, you can. Otherwise, you're actually doing a 30-second wall sit on your board. All right, so if you want to, you can pause and do 3 more sets on your own, or if you want to feel like I am there with you, you can just go back to the beginning of this piece and run it through 3 more times. The choice is yours. I'm going to pause for a second. All right, I had to put my hair back. I can't get over how sweaty I was getting. So good luck. But anyways, so for your cardio piece today, it's a 10, 9, 8, all the way down to 1 format with 25 jumping jacks after each round. So after round of 10, you've got 25 jacks, and after 9, 25 jacks, etc. So your movements are going to be, Violet and Myra, you're doing plank ups, StrongBoard jumps, overhead sit-ups, lateral squat hops. Carrie, you're going to switch for some of them. Instead of plank ups, you'll do scissors. Over, under will be 1. And instead of overhead sit-ups, you'll do StrongBoard sit-ups. But everything else should be the same. So let's just warm up and go through these movements. So I will not be doing this workout with you. It just wouldn't make sense because we're all going to be moving at different times. I don't think you want to hear me panting and breathing. But I will walk you through the movements. We'll go through the format again, make sure it makes sense. Hopefully my editing skills will be there, and I'm going to try to put a screenshot of the workout also into this video. So if I've been successful, you'll likely be seeing that right about now. Same thing for the first piece also. So your movements will be plank up. So you're going to start feet on the board. You see me? You can see me mostly. So from here, we're going to lower to our forearms. I'm going to come down with my left, down with my right, up with my left, up with my right. Then I'm going to switch sides, down with my right, down with my left, up with my right, up with my left. You're going to do 4, but I just want to point out a couple things to make sure that you don't end up doing these. So 1, obviously make sure you alternate your leading arms so you're not always going down with your left and coming up with your left first. So the second thing is when you're doing these, your whole body more or less should lower, so they shouldn't start looking like this where your butt stays up. So everything should come down, so you're lowering as one unit and then back up. All right, hopefully you can see me. So that's your first movement. Carrie, you've got scissors. So you'll be sitting on the board and you're crossing your legs over, trying to get your legs pretty wide so they're not just kind of small little scissors. So you can have your hands on the board. You want to sit roughly in the middle, and then you're starting with your legs straight. You're going to be leaning back, but make sure you're keeping your core engaged so you're not loosey-goosey at that bottom position. So tuck your belly button into your spine, and then you're bringing one leg over the other. So this is 1, 2, etc. So they're not going to start looking like this. So bring those legs wider. So you've got scissors, over under is 1. Violet, Myra, you've got plank ups. Then everybody's doing StrongBoard jumps. So let me move my mat. Okay, so we are going to jump 2 feet on the board, stand all the way up at the top, then back down, up, stand all the way. You can either step or jump. If when you go to do this workout, it's really humid outside and there's a lot more moisture, then of course, if you feel sketchy jumping on, as always, do a broad jump or just jump over the board instead, whichever you're more comfortable with. I would say also as you're working out, because this is going to be a bit longer, make sure you kind of wipe your board down every now and then, especially before you jump, so that it's not slick when you get onto it. So just making sure you stand all the way up. Okay, everybody's got jumps. And then you're doing overhead sit-ups, Violet and Myra. So for these, you're starting all the way back. I always butterfly. If you want to keep your feet planted, your knees bent, that's fine. Just make sure your feet don't kind of come off the ground. You want to lock your arms out so this board is over my head. When I come into the seated position, it's like I'm bringing my head through a window, so the board is directly over my head, so it's not out here. So this would not be it. This would be it. Coming up, bring your head through that window, like so. Carrie, you get to do your favorite StrongBoard sit-ups. So you're going to sit closer to the front of the board. Sorry, this is a really awful angle, but you're going to be all the way down, feet planted, come up into that seated position, just making sure that the top of the board's not balancing on the bottom the whole time, so it's not hitting it. So that will be sit-ups, and then everybody is doing lateral squat hops. Yes. So it actually doesn't matter if you want to have your board the long way or the other one. I don't think it makes a difference. You just want to make sure you have your feet wide enough so that you can squat. You're not going to come forward Your knees aren't going to be in an awkward position. So just like a lateral or regular squat, butt back, and then as you stand up, you go into that hop, keep your chest up. They shouldn't start looking like this. So make sure chest up, and then of course you'll do the same on the other side. Butt back, up into that hop. So squat, hop. And then once you get through that, you've got 25 jumping jacks. So just a couple things to recap. 10 plank ups, 10 jumps, 10 overhead sit-ups, 10 lateral squat hops, that is 10 on each leg, then 25 jumping jacks. Then you've got 9 plank ups, 9 jumps, 9 overhead sit-ups, 9 lateral squat hops, 25 jacks, 8 of everything, 25 jacks, etc. All the way till you get to 1 rep of each of those movements, 25 jumps, and then you're done. Same thing for you, Carrie, but obviously you're doing scissors and then regular StrongBoard sit-ups instead of plank ups and overhead. Anything else that I want to share with you? I think that should be it. I feel like there was something else. Nope, that should be pretty much straightforward. If you want to set a timer on your phone, go for it. You don't have to, but if you want to get an idea of how long it takes you, you can set it. But otherwise, you're just going to work until you get through your very last set of 25 jumping jacks. So this is it. You guys are kind of on your own from this point on for this workout. So set your timer if you want to. You don't need to, but if you want to get an idea of how long it takes, go for it. You're done once you hit that final 1 rep of everything and 25 jumping jacks. Good luck, enjoy, report back. Thank you guys.